This is the original Nintendo DS, and today, it's officially turned 20 years old. This is the original model of the Nintendo DS that released in 2004. On this day, November 17th, 2024, the console has turned 20 years old. Today we will be reviewing the hardware of this console and why it's actually still worth it to purchase in this year. And though the console looks good, unfortunately, it's extremely underrated. Not many people like using it, I guess, and many people complain about the dim screens. And I know that some people will be coming into the comments thinking, oh, but the DS Lite is much more superior. Well, unfortunately, the DS Original has its own positive notes that makes it better, in my opinion. First off, taking a look at the screens, we can notice that when I boot it up, is that the DS Original, you can see that it is quote-unquote dimmer. Now, in the dark, you can see that the screen, I can only turn off the backlight or turn it on, and on the DS Lite, I have multiple screen modes. Like if I take the stylus, turn off, on, then I can have multiple brightness modes. However, in the Lite, you can see that the DS Lite actually fares quite poorly, but the DS Original doesn't. That's because this screen technology is similar to that of a Game Boy Advance. And because of that, the screen has its own unique charm with that old gray LCD panel, and honestly, I really enjoy it, and if you don't like that, then the console isn't for you, but original hardware just feels the best to play on. And in other words, the console is actually very aesthetically pleasing, with its small tactile buttons similar to that of the Game Boy Advance SP, its speaker holes, and its nice just angles, and also not to mention that some units will come with this nice Nintendo DS strap with a nice logo, and it's pretty nice looking. And also here you have the stylus. It's actually convenient being at the top in a sense. And then you have the Game Boy Advance charging port, which isn't the best, but it works just fine. And both the triggers, both the L and the R buttons, are very, very nice. They're very large and very mushy, but they actually feel very good. They make a nice click, and the entire system otherwise, with the rounded corners, just makes much more ergonomic feeling when you carry it and pick this thing up, and the buttons are nice and clicky. I just really enjoy it. Now, since this console actually predates the DS Lite, it does have DS with, this is my authentic copy of Pokemon Pearl, and then my Pokemon Ruby, that of which are both compatible. The DS game works just fine, and the Game Boy Advance game actually sits fully flushly in the shell. That, in my opinion, this is much better than the DS Lite with its glorified slot cover and its great port that sticks out several centimeters out the bottom, which this is just obnoxious in my opinion. And though it's nice and it looks great, the slot cover always gets lost and it's hard to track onto it. However, on this one, your game can be the slot cover, which is just much better, as well as the screens match that of the original Game Boy Advance, which has just more authentic with a good backlight, and it's much better, and I just really enjoy this much more. And if you see, the screen's perfectly cromulent, there's no issues in the display at all. Depending on the screen you have, of course some will have dead pixels, but it's a really nice console overall. With that being said, why do you see so many people complaining about it? Well, now I'll tell you right now. People complain all the time about the hinge on this device. Having a good condition unit like this is rather rare, because an unbelievable portion of these consoles have been diagnosed with this yellowing. This is because of the plastic Nintendo made it with. It's actually discoloring and literally decaying away. Finally, it's quite obvious when you can see this issue occurring, and if this has happened to your console, it may still work fine. However, like this one, it just has some dead pixels on the screens and just needs a new shell, otherwise it could work totally fine. Now, if your console looks like this, it's not gonna last much longer. I have another unit right here that has not been taken care of properly, so the hinge has completely shattered into pieces. This is what people usually complain about with this shot hinge, and when this happens, it just won't work anymore. This is rather sad, and I just don't like seeing that, but it just happens with these, unfortunately. So just be careful when buying one. This unit right here is in very good condition, however that's quite rare. And if you do get a good condition one, the hinge is actually quite firm. I actually very enjoy this versus the other DS models, because if I take a DS Lite for example and try and demonstrate the screen wobbleness, even though the DS Lite is renowned for its firm hinge, it wiggles more than the DS original. However, the DS Lite's perfectly cromulent, not to completely just find a way to roast it or anything. It's perfectly fine, but it definitely shows that it's a little worse. This is actually a Game Boy Advance SP hinge, so it's pretty decent actually. Now next up, if you're actually considering buying one, if I was able to somehow convince you, here are some other colors that I've had before. Here's a really nice graphite black. This is a really popular one. I sell these out all the time. Really nice unit. I really like this color. I actually really like it. And this one just has a few scratches on it, but perfectly cromulent, no issues. It's actually really nice. Next up, we have a pearl white one. This is one of the hardest ones to find in good condition because they usually get this orange yellowing. And so this one's actually kind of cool to be able to have around. I've never seen one in that condition. This one is a lava red. Very rare. I've only seen one of these, and this is that one I've only seen. And then the sky blue one. This one always sells out. It's very nice. Blue, I actually really like it. Anyways. Before I start concluding this video, I just wanted to state, in terms of repairability, this is the best DS model, as both the bottom and top screen are the exact same screen panel. This is actually very nice, as you can take the top screen and make it into the bottom screen if you want. I just really like that, and it just proves that we could actually get an IPS mod or an OLED mod for the DS original. Now, as another side note, you've probably seen this on my channel before, but this is called the DSML. It's a reshell from China of the DS original. It's pretty cool, and this is my personal one, and I play this one actually too much. I lost my DS games for it, but it's pretty cool, and I really like it. So if you want one of those, you can get one, so watch my video on that, and yeah, anyways. And if anybody actually got this far in the video, you probably noticed the price tags on these consoles, and that's because I actually sell these, and these are priced for a local event that has already ended by the time this video is up. However, I just want to say I do sell them, and I will be fixing the broken ones I showed in this video. So if you want ones with new shells, please check out the eBay store below. They probably won't be available yet, but I'll have them up in a few months. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you.